This is the plaintiff, Anika Lovell. She says she hired the defendant to make an extravagant dessert table for her granddaughter's first birthday party. And let's just say, things didn't go as planned. The defendant did a lackluster job. She wasn't happy with her work and is suing for a refund for $675. This is the defendant, LaToya. She says she went above and beyond for the difficult plaintiff. But nothing can please this woman. She deserves to be paid for her work and doesn't feel she should return any money. She's accused of not getting the job done.
All parties, please raise your right hands. The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Ms. Lovell, you were planning on helping out for your grandbaby's first birthday party, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And apparently the baby was a preemie?
She was a micro preemie. She was born at 24 weeks.
Good Lord. And so how is she doing now?
Oh, she's doing well. Everything that was supposed to happen has not. So she's doing like really flying colors.
Well, God bless. All right, that's excellent. So her first birthday was a pretty big deal.
It was.
Okay, so tell me what it is that you hired the defendant to do.
I started off by showing her a picture. The defendant said she could do it. We were going back and forth on what is this, where's the place going to be at, the money amount. And to me, Your Honor, it seemed like as soon as she got the money, which was $950, so let's get that clear. It started off at being $950 for one table. Your Honor, I was paying not to be stressed. So in the long run, I'm more stressed out than I feel
Right, but what
deserved.
was it you ordered and how is it that you got your idea across? I'm looking at a series of texts between you guys, and the first thing that happens is on, what day was the party?
It was June 12th.
On April 26th, you send her a picture and...
Asking.
Right, where did you
if
get...
she knew somebody
who
or
could
she
do something like this? Now, what do you think we're looking at in this picture?
I'm looking at a mermaid seashell all the way on the right coming over, and a little blue table. Looks like it has desserts on it, and also a fin that's down from the table.
Right. LaToya, what do you do for a living?
Your Honor, I do birthday setups, decorations, some treats. I also have a retail business open as well.
Okay. So when she sent you this, hey lady, by any chance, do you know anyone who could do this? And you tell her, yes, I can. Did you ever click on this or look yourself to see what this was?
Yes, ma'am. If you see the text messages, I explained to her that was a picture of a backdrop. That was not an actual set up of balloons.
Okay, so let's hold on a second.
That was something that you can order on.
Right.
Yes.
Why didn't the mother, if she found it on the internet, why didn't she just order it? Can I ask you that, Ms. Lovell?
Yeah, the reason why, because it was a stressful birthday party. They went over and beyond.
Yeah, but why didn't she give you the link for you to hire somebody to just go ahead and order it if she can't just order it herself? If she found exactly what she wanted in 44 pieces on the internet, why didn't she just order it?
She didn't find that. That was her theme. That was something at the beginning we were coming up with.
What were you going to say, Ms. LaToya? Go ahead. Yeah, Ms. LaToya, what were you going to say?
To answer your question, the reason why the mom did not order it or Anika decided to come and hire me, because, in Your Honor, throughout the text message you can see, Anika basically was kind of in a competition with the mother to outdo that table more than what the mother's items would be, which
thank
were the
God
additional
for that,
tables.
because otherwise you wouldn't be in business. Thank God for people who want to spend $1,000. Well, don't thank me. I think it's goofy. I mean, how many tables were there? What were they? 40 tables, $40,000. I got an idea. Let's buy the baby bonds, and then when she matures, she's got, So, I mean, I've got the $1,000 in my pocket to go spend on this, and I would never spend $1,000 on a treat table. So thank God for mothers and grandmothers and aunties and daddies and grandpas and anybody else who wants to spend $1,000 on Oreos and Rice Krispies. I imagine that there's some challenge to understanding what your client wants and conveying that, and kind of getting that theory through to the table, right? That's why people hire you, LaToya, right?
Sometimes there is very much a challenge.
Right. Okay. So what efforts did you engage in with her to understand what she wanted?
We talked. We did discuss things over the phone. This is how I know that she said she went to a balloon place and got a quote of $450 for balloons only. She was trying to cut corners, and I told her I could accommodate her, but it would not be that, because if you look in the text message, I told her this is a backdrop. This is not an actual picture of a set up individual as far as the balloons were set up, Your Honor. So I explained that to Anika at the time.
She sends you this picture and asks if you know anybody who can do this. You respond that it looks like a backdrop. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. With a dessert table and balloons. Yes, I can do that. Now, when you say it looks like a backdrop, when we look at this picture, that looks very 3D, right? Because it's not going to be a curtain backdrop with a table that you put a table in front of. There's a table here and there's a shadow on the tail. So I realize what you're saying, that, that's just one big backdrop, but that's what you're saying. But I don't know that you're right, because the table is in this picture and everything is very 3D. So
everything is 3D. So when you get on Etsy, you'll see that you can order the backdrop with that same very look of a table. That is not an actual table, Your Honor. And the balloons, this is the reason why we discussed the balloons, because the balloons would be something that I set up on my own and make it an actual thing and not just a part of a backdrop.
Right, I understand, but I understand. What I'm asking you, you see the picture that I have up on the screen?
Yes, I do.
Okay, when you say this is a backdrop, what is a backdrop? Not this whole picture.
So you see where it looks like maybe flowers,
just the back, the blue, pink, purple.
Yes,
that's what you mean as a backdrop. Everything else is 3D that you make, right? Okay, so we understand each other. I got it. So now you guys agree that you're going to do it. You agree on a price of $900 and what?
$50.
$950.
Okay, and now let's go to the day of. You pay the money and you go to your granddaughter's party, Ms. Lovell, and you see the table, and what are your thoughts?
Well, to be honest, when I first got there, I had the cake. So it looked partially done. So I really didn't have a feeling here or there.
Okay.
When I come back, that's when it was like, what doesn't fit?
I don't know what that means.
What do you mean?
Well, like she said, I was trying to complete. It's her first birthday. It's a water party. I have cloth table. It looked like it was a curtain backdrop. I had 2 fishes that was nothing like a fin. The balloons didn't have nothing to them. No sparkle, no nothing. They were regular 99-cent balloons. We had bubble gum. When did I okay bubble gum? We had Oreo cookies. My family doesn't even eat Oreo cookies, so I would have never agreed to Oreo cookies. And then she had popcorn, and it looks like the kind of big bag of popcorn, and you buy the little 6-7 bags and you fill them up. So I had 12 things of popcorn, 12 things of dipped Oreo cookies, some cupcakes,
No, you
2
didn't.
big old containers of bubblegum cookie. Nobody has teeth. And what happened to the personalization? What happened to my candy apples? What happened to the Rice Krispie treats? What happened to everything she was going to make look all special?
What personalization are you referring to that you didn't get?
Rice Krispie treats, candy apples, popcorn, and cupcakes.
Okay,
that's all in the text.
there was popcorn and there were cupcakes. According to what you're saying, I did read your text. However, I know there were no candy apples, and we'll talk about that in a second, but there was popcorn. Not
personalized.
Personalized popcorn?
It was just regular purple popcorn.
How would you personalize popcorn?
Well, I thought that was part of the $150.
No, personalized was for the cupcakes. Am I right, Ms. LaToya? Yeah, personalized was for the
Rice Krispie treats. I have a picture.
Yes, the Rice Krispie treats were missing. The candy apples were missing. You say you never discussed Oreos. Let's look at the table. Let's get a picture of the table and let's see how it looked. Actually, we have a video. Who took this video, Ms. Latoya?
I did.
Okay, you think that a judge can see anything going this fast? This is the cake, Ms. Lovell, but this cake is fantastic. You were in charge of the cake, right, Ms. Lovell?
I was in charge of the cake and that one dessert table, and that cake is the only thing that came out correct.
So here's a picture of
And the
gumballs.
cake, I paid $150
Here's a picture.
for.
These are beautiful. These are the cake pops. How many cake pops did you provide, Ms. Latoya?
Your Honor, she had 2 dozen of each item.
2 dozen of each item. That's the answer to my question.
Yes, ma'am.
What are these? These are what?
That is cotton candy.
Okay.
And those are the cupcakes that are personalized with Tamia's picture on the top of the cupcakes.
And her name is misspelled?
And
Yep.
not on there, yes, it is.
Okay, that's not good.
No, it's not. And I said that to Anita.
These are magnificent.
In our
Did you buy
messages,
these
ma'am.
already made? You didn't make these, right?
No. You can't buy those already made, Your Honor.
You
I'm
made
sorry.
these?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Is that a fair representation of how the table looked?
Yes, ma'am. That is how it looks.
Okay. So I hear you when you say that it's impossible to get it to, well, it's not impossible, but that it'll never be exactly like someone may want. But do you think that those two look particularly alike?
Yes, I would stand by my work other than the fact of the candy apples, and I still stand on that.
Right. Now, the candy apples and the Rice Krispies, why were they missing?
And in discussion with my mom, who does help me, I told her, our back and forth between Anika and I, and she suggested something that would be easier for children of that age group.
Such as?
That's where the cake pop, such
cake
as
pops.
she said they were.
But why not
Yes,
discuss
ma'am.
that?
And I
you
did
discussed
not.
that with your mother. Why didn't you just discuss it with Ms. Lovell?
Right. And I did not. And that was something that I should have done.
Right. And also the Rice Krispies, which apparently were a big deal because she kept mentioning Rice Krispies a lot. All right. So now, Ms. Lovell, you wanted to have a fantastic table that, would make you proud. You feel you didn't get it. You feel that you were explicit, and you feel that she failed you. She didn't give you candy apples. She didn't give you Rice Krispies. I think she gave you a lot of really cool stuff, but I don't think that table and the balloons and everything had the pizzazz that you were hoping for. She returned $150 to you so far. The question is for me to determine whether this was not a $950 table, then what was it? If not $950, then what? Right now, you're out $800. You're asking for an additional $675 back. So in essence, you are asking to have paid only $125 for the table. That's how you want to end up here by winning here today. You're asking for me to order her to pay you $675, then you would have gotten all these treats, all these balloons, all that stuff, and all the setup for $125. Does that seem fair to you? That's what I'm asking, Ms. Lovell. Her job is to deliver it to you guys. If you guys have a party in the middle of the summer and it's hot as heck, then it's up to you guys not to have the stuff in the sun, and it's up to you guys to have it, because that cakes and stuff like that and cookies and all that, they're going to be affected by the heat. So you need to put it in a place where it's going to be less affected by the heat. So that's not on her. All right. So that's one. And two, let's discuss what happens afterwards. According to you, Ms. Latoya, she then sends you a series of text after text after text where she's really annoyed at you and she keeps saying things to you, and then you tell her that you're going to have her arrested for harassment.
Well, what I didn't say, I don't believe, and I don't believe I said arrested. I did say that I would contact the law enforcement because she continued, Your Honor, to attack me, through text. And I just told her, like, Anika, like, I'm not sure what you're hoping to gain from doing a personal attack. Like, I felt that was, like, not correct. I understand that you're not happy, but if you see the text, I apologized to her. I sent her a refund. And even after that first day, I went over there the same day to, get the items that, I would usually go and pick up. And when I got there, she jumped in my face. I ended up calling my mom and letting my mom know, could you please come over here? Because at this point, I don't feel comfortable. They had so many people outside it was just an uncomfortable environment for me. And she did continue to harass me. Even after that particular day, maybe a week or two later, she started again. And I did, Your Honor, say that I would, if she didn't stop, that I would contact law enforcement. And I don't think it was arrested, but to, basically like to get her to stop doing that.
I got it. So here's where we are. This is an art and not a science. So when you're trying to do this kind of a table, she's trying to convey her ideas. And if she just did a lot of gum flapping, that'd be one thing. She actually sent a picture of what she wanted. I don't expect it to be, well, perhaps it can be replicated. I have no idea. But I don't expect it to necessarily be 100% replicated. You say that in your text to her, and she says, yes, I understand that. But the question is this what she requested? And I find that it is not what she requested. I also find, however, that her lawsuit for $675 is ridiculous because I now am left in the unenviable position of having to decide what this is worth. When I'm deciding what it is worth, I will be considering two things. One, the finished product versus three things, really. The finished product in this case versus the picture she sent you. Two, some of your other work, which has huge balloon arches and stuff,
yes,
which I believe she was kind of expecting. And it's funny because that's like the cheapest thing, and that probably would have made her happy. And the third thing...
No, the balloons are actually the most expensive thing.
There was no question pending. I am talking. And the third thing that I'm going to be considering, is it possible what it is that she wanted? And I know it's possible because I went on Etsy. I know more is possible. I know that you guys had a lot of communication. It's actually more than the average, you would say it's a backdrop and you assume she knows what you're talking about. You say, I have a bedazzled backdrop. This is a purple, shiny, glittery. I know it's hard to see in the picture. I get that, and she's complaining, well, water's not purple. And she wanted the pizzazz of her picture. I find that the dessert table is certainly worth a lot more than what she thinks it's worth. I find that I am going to order you to refund some more of the money that she paid you. I am taking into account how much you've already refunded, and I'm going to order you to refund another $250 verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff prevails. She's going to get $250 back, an additional $250 over the $150 she's already given back. So let's see how the defendant feels about this case. Latoya, what are you thinking right now?
I don't feel like she should have gotten any more money back. Of course, I believe that she was in competition with her daughter-in-law. And when she felt like her daughter-in-law had a table that was full of goodies on the other side, she felt like she didn't win the competition. So then she took her frustration out on me, and that's my opinion.
Have you learned anything from this experience with Ms. Lovell?
Yeah, not to deal with people who are like her.
Well, that's it. You've got to give that money back to her. Let's see how she feels about it. Ms. Lovell, you were wanted $675, another $675. You're not getting that. The judge felt that was outrageous for you to ask for. What are you thinking?
I think it was more of the lack of communication, and I was trying to do business with Black people. But this is why you can't. And her brand name is exquisite. There was nothing exquisite about my setup, and money was never an option. So it's just sad. So she won. That's all good, but I'll never use her again. And please, you guys, like the judge said, I did all the text messaging and it still came out wrong.
Bottom line, how was the party? What was the overall impact of the party? What do people think?
My 1-year-old had a good time.
Nobody else? Just the 1-year-old?
The 1-year-old, that's all I was worried about, is my grandbaby.
All right. Well, at least she had a good time. Good enough. Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right. That'll wrap it up for this case. Harvey, let's see what your take is on this.
Doug, the key to this are these sample pictures, and that's something you need to think about if you hire somebody like a party planner. If you show that party planner a picture and make the picture part of the contract, and they don't deliver what you showed them, you're going to win the lawsuit.
Our neighbor has a pine tree that drops its needles in our yard. Can we blow the needles back into her yard?
Oh my God, I love this question because it's just such a window onto human nature in a way. Okay, so the pine needles are falling out of her tree into your yard. I suppose you could kind of like blow them over there and then send her a note or something saying, I think you lost some of your property and I've returned it. I've returned your property to you. But these have to come up from time to time in your courtroom.
Yeah.
The Leaves cases, like the one that they did on Mad TV.
On Mad TV, they did a spoof of our show years ago, and that's exactly what it was about.
Exactly.
And you can't do that. You don't live in a concrete jungle. You live in a place where there are trees, and trees shed, and that's just a God-given thing.
But you have the right to cut those limbs,
right, so that they don't shed anymore.
Right, so that they don't reach over your fence.
You own from hell to the heavens.
Right.
So you can cut those overhanging limbs.
Right.
Or you can just face the fact that, trees lose leaves and that's part of nature.
Wow.
But it's kind of very aggressive to blow debris to your neighbor's yard from overhanging limbs that are your responsibility to trim if they're bothering you.
Right.
Right.
And karma. I mean, do that. It's what goes around is going to come around. If you're
how are we going to identify? We're going to do DNA of the leaves to figure out.
Don't be nasty to your neighbor.
Yeah,
over the pine
there's nothing
needles,
to be gained by that.
Bake her some cookies or something instead of blowing the pine needles back at her house.